Hello everyone, it's me, your boy, Espa, the condottiere Vtuber, and welcome tonight to the Venture Company. And hello there, Dr. Flexis, hello, O Sentinel, and hello there, overall player. So, today is the first iteration, hopefully not the last, but at least the first one for sure, of Vtuber Talk Show, Vtuber Talk, where I basically interview some Vtubers and we all discover and know more about our favorite Vtubers out there. And for tonight, for our very first iteration, we have a special guest, the one and only MageVivika. Say hello, Vivika, don't be shy. I know you're shy.
I hopefully my mic is picking me up, but hello, I'm MageVivika. I'm a life mage. Honestly, people don't really know what a life mage is, so I try to explain. I think life is kind of complicated, so I try to figure out a few things about it and give my thoughts. I make a little 2-minute video every week that I post on my YouTube and we watch on Twitch, and we discuss usually about topics to do with mental health and socialization, relationships, that sort of thing. And I do take suggestions as well for the topics. And we also just stream video games and have a good time together and build a community where people care about each other and care about mental health and all that lovely stuff. So
Exactly. I would add that basically, guys, if you're lying very chill vibes, like way chiller than in my streams and some pretty cool chill vibes, y'all gotta check MageVivika. She is able to make some pretty hard games like Elden Ring feel kind of chill and calm just by her presence. And thank you
I've been told
so
I
much.
can make Dark Souls cozy.
She's making Dark Souls cozy. That's her power. That's what her life mage is. And hello there, Tekatonic. Thank you so much for joining the Venture Company. I hope we're gonna have some lovely memories together. Impressive. I know, right? But impressive. But how about we get to know more about her by watching a little bit of her clips together and see what the MageVivika truly is about. Don't be scared. I can hear you're scared.
No, it's fine.
You might want to turn on the stream volume on your end, MageVivika, just to watch this part. All right, let's see.
Hello, and welcome. I am MageVivika, a life mage. That's lame.
Boy, you're about to see some money. Oh, fuck!
Why'd you waste my bullet?
Nothing the knife, nothing the machine. What else is not prepared for? Or should I say, oh, sorry. You missed it to me, I'm not sorry. I'll do it again.
Ooh, I just hit someone with a motorbike. Oh my god, that's so sad. Oh, I love motorbikes. It feels so wrong. Oh no. No motorbikes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Crimes against motorbikes.
I don't think I upgraded it as much as the super shotgun. Oh no, I fell through the world! Ah! I was killed by a glitch.
Come on. Didn't even get halfway there.
1 hour later.
I don't believe it. It's not possible. You're lying. This game is a liar. The damn dirty liar. What the actual Deku? And a Vivian. Here's just my vocal cords. They may emulate a feline. Yes, here we are. Meow, meow, meow. Tried spam card. I wanted to parry. Oh, really?
For the bow.
I can try that, but I feel like oh no, just like perpetually falling. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I died! I died from being stuck in the wall. Makina, thank you for the follow. You're very welcome here.
And that's a story of know your worth, mate. Know your worth. You got a charge for your labor. That's important. You're gonna devalue everyone else's labor if you don't do, alright? Know your worth, yeah. Yeah, gotta do it. No, even if you're dealing with the devil, still gotta charge him.
Oh, I think I went through the end. Oh no. You don't see me at all. Oh god, I'm glad you didn't see me. Alright.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye. Watch.
Hello and welcome to the Weekly Buff. I am MageVivika. This week, I would like to discuss social anxiety and how to understand it. Many of us who spend a majority of our lives online also experience social anxiety. It may feel tempting to look away from such feelings by avoiding interacting with new people or by constantly seeking reassurance from people we do feel safe with. But we are attempting to moor ourselves, not to solid land, but to another ship. Our friends, family, and lovers are all floating upon the social seas as we are. They are subject to similar storms and damaged hulls. And while it can be stabilizing to check in with trusted people, to see if our thoughts mirror the same perceptions of us that others hold too, it cannot replace learning to navigate these seas ourselves. When the reassurance of others rings hollow or feels short-lived, then we may need to take stock. Are we abandoning ourselves? Are we the ones who are not accepting of our own flaws, forgiving ourselves our own mistakes, and running from any ugliness that we feel about ourselves? Are we unable to trust the kindness offered to us? If so, we may need to refocus our efforts on grounding techniques, mindfulness practice, sleep, nutrition, movement, or seeking professional mental health resources. We deserve to feel meaningfully better. See you next week. Thank you for this moment. Take care.
And here we go, guys. And hello there, Nisego. Welcome here for the first time. So,
I feel buffed.
I was gonna ask, how do you feel about this little montage here?
That was amazing. I was not expecting that. Thank you so much. You clearly put a lot of work into that.
Thank you. And with your permission, after the stream, of course, I will post the video on my YouTube channel and on Reddit, if that goes well with you.
Yeah, of course. It's very sweet.
So, now I think we got a pretty good view about who MageVivika is and what you might expect from her streams. But now, let's go for some series of questions and discover a bit more about our favorite VTuber here, MageVivika. So, a question you must have gotten many times, I believe, by now, but how did you discover VTubing actually?
So I actually saw some of the clips of other VTubers. I think it was Rone, maybe?
Oh, the dog VTuber from her life, right?
Yeah, like her cursing clips, where she's cursing really cutely. And a bit of Gura as well, Gagura. And I sort of looked at it and I was like, that looks really fun. And so I tried out streaming a few times, and then I got a little free Vroid, and I tried streaming with that for a while, and then eventually I was like, I really enjoy this. I want to get a custom avatar. So I commissioned my first live 2D, and that. Now we're on iteration number 3, I guess, technically. 4 if you count Mimica. 5 if you count Babica.
Oh, and hello there, Vince. Welcome to the stream. Oh, and By the way, actually, well, even though I did discover Kizuna AI back in the day, which is usually seen as the first VTuber, I didn't really pay much mind. Where I actually also discovered VTubing was also with Korone.
Oh, really?
I don't
So
think
cute.
I don't think the first thing I've seen from her is her cursing clip. I think the first thing I've seen from her is that one Mario Bros stream where she forces herself to only speak English.
Oh,
Oh, that and also that one clip, that one animated clip someone made of her where she says "Ikam Bokam" from Banjo-Kazooie. It's a famous one.
oh, okay. Yeah, we used to quote a lot of them, like "I am die, thank you forever," and her cursing the way she does and stuff. It's just fun.
There is the famous "Have confidence." This one is still famous. And yeah. Although at the beginning I was kind of confused about like all the VTuber and what's Hololive and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I don't pay a lot of attention to the corporate VTubers. The most of the VTubers that I watch are my friends, so I feel a little bit out of place sometimes. Because everyone's talking about like their Oshi and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I'm just having fun and playing games with my friends and watching them play games, and it's really about the social aspect for me more than sort of idol culture or anything like that.
Yeah, I used to watch actually a lot of corporate VTubers on my end. Like, before I ended up becoming a VTuber, I was mostly watching Hololive VTubers.
Yeah, I think
But-
it's really common.
Yeah, but as soon as I became independent, I started to hang out more with small VTubers, and now I just don't watch any of the big ones anymore.
We only have so much time, so if we want to be supporting our friends and stuff, there's less time to watch.
Exactly. But by the way, why becoming a VTuber and not just a regular streamer or flesh tuber, as some people have decided to call it lately?
Well, I thought that the aspect of having an avatar to represent you was really neat. I thought that that was really creative, and you could, present yourself however you like. Also, I am concerned about the safety aspect of it. I do live in the US now, even though I'm from New Zealand originally. And in the US, there have been instances of people calling special forces police, like SWAT teams,
swatting and stuff.
to streamers' houses and people being injured or killed. So it was really important to me that I protect my privacy. And I mean, also, like, I have a day job, and I don't think I'm doing anything that my employer would, object to. But I think there is a clause in my contract that says I'm not supposed to have a second job without permission. And technically, I don't, like, it's not a profitable hobby for me.
Job, like,
It's a hobby, yeah. I put more money into it than I make out of it at the moment. But if they decided that it was a job, that it qualified as a job, then they might, get upset with me. So just like privacy, safety, convenience. I'm also aware that, like, I like my body. I like the way I look. I really don't have any issues with that, but I know the internet can be very, very judgmental, and it can be, people can pick at your insecurities just to get a rise out of you. So that's another aspect of it as well, that I don't need that negativity,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I can actually join you on that one. I guess the main reason also for becoming a VTuber is really the security aspect of it, the anonymity.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have this conception that if you are famous, then you are rich and you can afford, like, security and stuff. But there are a lot of people, especially people who became like memes, who became really, really famous, but they didn't get any money along with it, or if they did, it was very, very minimal.
Exactly.
So it's like having the curse of fame without the reward of fame. So you can't protect yourself. You can't move if someone finds your house. You have to just kind of live with your situation if something goes wrong. So yeah, it's important to have privacy and safety as well.
Oh, and thank you so much, Topika Perna, for joining the venture company. Welcome here. And yeah, I definitely understand. Like the main reason for me was also like really much not being able to be like, I guess it's not much the swatting that kind of concerns me. I don't think that is a very big practice in France here.
It's probably not as much of an issue there.
Yeah, especially because like I'm streaming in English, so my audience is American, and American won't really be able to call the French police anyway.
You could try, but they probably wouldn't understand them.
Yeah, probably. and I heard down that like they would answer an American number anyway. But the fact that I didn't want my I don't know, people from job recognizing me as a streamer and stuff like that, and I kind of want to have my full privacy between what I do on stream and what I do in real life.
Yeah.
Just call me Toby.
Makes sense.
No kind of problem, Toby. Yeah. However, I do have a funny anecdote about that. Well, they don't know my streamer identity, but my work manager know I am a streamer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we had like a call for work, and he wanted me to put on the camera, so I put on the camera. But the problem is, he saw the super microphone and the equipment and stuff on the camera, and he was like, "Bro, what is that?" And I was like, "It's just a mic." He's like, "You're a streamer, aren't you?" Like,
yeah.
He didn't ask for my streamer identity. I think he understood that I was not open to that, but yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that I work with probably haven't even heard of Twitch. Like, they might know YouTube, but they probably haven't actually heard of Twitch. So I don't even know if they would know if they found out I was a streamer. They'd probably be like, "Oh, what's your YouTube?"
Yeah. But I think on my end, most of my coworkers have heard of Twitch. However, I don't think any of them actually listens to any American streamers. They just stay on the French-speaking side of Twitch, so...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of all these VTuber and stuff, like, I say, of course, that you don't watch a lot of corporate VTubers, but what is your thoughts on VTuber corporations in general? Like HoloLive, Nijisanji, all of that.
Well, I think that if it is a good fit for a streamer, like they're happy to work within the confines of a contract in terms of what they're allowed to stream, how they're allowed to present themselves, how they're allowed to have their avatar and all that sort of thing, then I think that can be really good for them. They obviously get a lot of benefit from the company being able to promote them. So they have like the PR budget and stuff, so they can get their name out there and everything. And as we've seen, some of the people that retired from these corporations can then go to being indie, but being with like maybe an indie company like Vshoujo or something like that. So it does open up possibilities for them. Personally, I think I would find it very stifling if I was offered a position as a corporate VTuber, because I want to talk about spicy stuff. And I don't mean sexual stuff. I mean like mental health and suicidal ideation and all that stuff that you're not really supposed to talk about, especially not, if you're a brand, because that's too controversial. So I feel like I wouldn't be able to really talk about the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I find important, because a big part of why I wanted to stream in the first place is to connect with people. I'd been very isolated and I wanted to connect with people in a way that feels authentic to me. And yes, I'm behind an avatar, but it just allows me to sort of not worry so much about all the social stigma around, beauty standards and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can't imagine being a flesh tuber and having to do your hair and your makeup and everything every single time you want to go live, and then worry about lighting and how, how you're looking the whole stream, and the way that people are scrutinized, especially women and femme people, and people saying, oh, they show too much of their body or whatever. Like, it's very, very rigid, and lots of people have a lot to say about it, and I don't really I don't really want to deal with all that. So yeah, I feel
can
like
understand. I very much understand, because I am not gonna lie, especially because I usually stream at night. 99% of the time I am, when I stream, I am either in pajamas or naked, depending on how warm it is in the room.
computers can make the room really hot. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I don't have like AC or anything, so in the summer it can get quite damn hot, so I can sometimes, like in the summer I usually stream naked, but that's not something people should like see,
Yeah, that's TOS. Yeah.
Well, it's maybe not on Twitch at least.
Yeah. Save that for your fans, Lee.
Exactly. Oh yeah, but though for VTuber corporations, if you I don't know, you have to choose. Like, you cannot say no, I don't want to go in any. But imagine if you had to choose, which one would you go for, and why would you go for that one?
To a VTuber corporation?
Yeah, which one would you go for if you didn't have any choice but join one?
I actually really don't know enough about the corporations to say. I think HoloLive is more focused on Japanese speaking, right? You have to be Japanese speaking and English speaking to join HoloLive.
A lot of
usually.
the latest HoloLive members don't speak Japanese.
Oh, okay.
I think there's like 1/3 or 1/4 of them who speak Japanese in total, but it is a plus for them, but it's not mandatory.
Yeah, I'm trying to even remember all of the names. So there's like HoloLive, Niji Sanji. I'm sure there's others, but I'm blanking.
Yeah, that's basically the two main ones. So
okay, yeah. I guess I would choose whatever one was offering me the least restriction if I really had to choose one. But yeah.
Yeah, it's true that the one big problem I would have with like joining a corporation would be also giving up my avatar, so to speak.
Yeah, not being able to have control of your design, and also possibly not being able to speak on, like, I don't go a lot into political things in my streaming or in my YouTube videos because I'm not interested in polarizing stuff. I'm interested in bringing people together. But to even just like not be able to call a country by its name and be fired for that, like.
Oh, you mean Taiwan? Yeah.
Yeah, that would really get to me. I don't think I could handle that.
Well, I guess by now it's actually safe to say Taiwan in HoloLive because they completely cut ties with China altogether.
Oh, okay. Well, at least they changed.
They changed, yeah. The one who ended up quitting was not. She was not forced by HoloLive. Like, she wasn't fired. She just decided to go in. Like, to not be.
Who knows what goes on behind the scenes? I'm not gonna assume that I know anything.
I am sure
we can know what they say, but we can't know what's
but
true.
I'm sure HoloLive wouldn't be too bad about her because she was literally the one bringing her the most money, and by very far. So,
Yeah, that's kind of the sad thing about it. The situation is, right, because they're a company, so they're interested in the profits, and
yeah,
that's not why I stream. Is not for the profits. If it was, I would have quit a long time ago.
I chose the best. Exactly, Nisego. You're right there. And I guess I would choose like Hololive because it's the most famous. Well, what I would do on my end is just go for Hololive, become popular over there, basically, and then quit Hololive and go back to my indie one, and basically have a lot of my Hololive fans go follow me on my indie account thanks to the fame I built.
Yeah, it seems to be the pattern anyway.
But yeah. Then let's move on a bit from that. From all the VTuber companies. Actually, if you do you do gaming streams, but you don't do just gaming streams, right?
Yeah, so on Mondays we do watch the weekly buff, and we discuss it. So that's usually like, depending on how much people have to say and how much I have to say about it, like half an hour to an hour sometimes of chatting. But yeah, mostly I do gaming streams. I want to get into more chatting streams. Like I have had an idea for a similar kind of thing where I would bring people on and talk to them about various topics, probably about mental health topics that were close to their interests and their hearts. But yeah, so far mostly it's the Monday chatting streams, and then the gaming streams. And I have done a few chatting streams where I read questions from my Curious Cat. So I have a Curious Cat account where people can submit anonymous questions.
Oh,
and
no
often...
problem, Toppy. Yeah. See you later, my friend, and have a very great night. See you later.
Night, Tuppy. Often people will ask me quite deep philosophical questions or existential questions about things they're struggling with, so the answers can be quite interesting. So I have had a couple of streams where we sort of looked over that, read the questions and answers out, and discussed a little bit. I'd like to do more sort of things like that, where, you know, kind of inviting people in and discussing topics that maybe they don't have anyone in their day-to-day life that they can talk about it with, or maybe they don't feel comfortable. So it's more comfortable being behind a screen, behind a username that isn't tied to their, you know, everyday life, that they can have a conversation with, and have a conversation with a group of people, not just, you know, not just me. There's kind of an attitude too online, unfortunately, of not wanting to say the wrong thing and not wanting to ask the wrong question. Because there's a lot of people, and I understand this completely. I understand it completely. There's a lot of people that when they get asked a certain question, they will assume that the person is asking in bad faith. And so they will immediately get really angry and defensive. But even if someone is asking a question in bad faith, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and give them my honest answer. And then if they keep pushing it and it's clear to me that they're just asking in bad faith, then I'll go from there. But I have that privilege of being able to be in a situation where I feel safe enough to do that. So I don't blame anyone that angrily responds to those kinds of questions, because I understand it comes from a place of need to protect yourself. But it does kind of mean that there's sort of a defensiveness online often, where people genuinely have questions. And unfortunately, the people that are willing to answer those questions often will give them misinformation. So I'm trying to combat that in my small way.
Okay. Interesting. So I guess your streams where you do chat with your chat and everything would be your favorite kind of streams, wouldn't it?
I mean, I really enjoy gaming streams too. I really love my community. I really love spending time with them and enjoying things with them. It was really, really fun, actually. I have played all of the Dark Souls games, but I hadn't played any on release. And so when Elden Ring came out, that was the first time that I played it, like the year it was released. I played it like a month or two after it was released, because I didn't want people to be having to avoid the stream to avoid spoilers if they wanted to play it as well. But it was the first time I got to play it like the same year that it released, and that was such an amazing experience, honestly.
Yeah.
Being included and being like excited for the game and the hype of it, and it felt really nice. It felt like there's kind of a toxic reputation for Dark Souls fans, which is that if you're not like able to defeat the game without leveling up at all and using like a toothpick, then you're not really a gamer, you're not really a Dark Souls player. But I don't play the games to be really good at them. I just play to have fun, and often I'll use equipment and spells and things that are not the most effective, but I just like them. And I felt like that was well received. Like people just enjoy watching someone have fun. So it felt like really, I felt really good and included, and it felt really good.
Yeah, most people are not here to watch people play super duper good. Like they don't.
And there are streamers that do that.
There's streamers that do that,
yeah.
but most people are not particularly looking for that. Like most people just want to vibe with like a streamer where they also play something they can relate to some degrees.
And it's really nice to be able to share these hobbies with people, especially like Monster Hunter. I never played Monster Hunter with anyone else. I played it. I played Freedom Unite on the Switch PSP, but I didn't have anyone to play it with. So playing Monster Hunter World on stream with my community has been the first time I've been able to co-op, and it's been so much fun.
I do need to go try my hands one day on this one. Actually, I have never played Monster Hunter.
I really enjoy the franchise. Really, really fun. I'm excited for the next one because hopefully they'll give us crossplay. So, you know, people on PC can play with people on PlayStation and Switch and everything. Because right now it's there's no crossplay, unfortunately, for World or Rise.
Maybe it would be my time to try the franchise on the next entry.
I'd recommend it.
And by the way, are there any streams like you're not satisfied with? Are there like stuff you do or streams in general you've not been satisfied with yet?
Sometimes I feel like week to week some of my buffs are more inspired than others. So I do feel like occasionally a buff will just kind of be maybe a little bit dry. It's still saying something I want it to say and I think is important to say, but maybe I didn't think of a way to make it as engaging as it perhaps could have been. But that's kind of the nature of doing something on a deadline, right? I have a full-time job and I stream, 3 to 4 times a week, so I have a limited time and energy to write and record and have it edited. So, I just kind of cut myself a lot of slack because I feel like even doing something not perfectly, but doing it consistently, that's how you build a community. That's how you show that you're reliable. That's how you kind of build your skills. So I feel like it's worthwhile to do something good enough, even if it's not great or not perfect. And I still get people saying that they enjoy it and it was valuable to them. So even if it's not up to my extremely high standards, it still is valuable. So I try to just look at it that way of being like, this might not be my best work, but it's still my work. And I'm still proud of it. I'm proud of the effort I put in, and I will use it to build upon and improve my skills and just get better.
Yeah, and well, realistically, like not all subjects can be as passionate as any other, and some of them will have to fall short.
Some have to be a bit serious too, yeah.
Yeah, and like doing it weekly means like there's a lot of there's many times where you won't be able to do everything, like you.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be some good ones and some meh ones. It's normal.
And I can always redo a topic if I feel like it at a later date. I don't restrict myself to not revisiting topics. So I can always, if I think of a better way to address it or a different angle or just a way to just redo it better, I can always do that. I can come back to it.
Oh, hello there, Goblin Paladin Roselia. Welcome to the stream. Hydrate and stretch. Let's go.
Hydrate and stretch too.
By the way, when you stream, actually, how much of you is the real you behind the computer, and how much is just the persona you put on?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because a lot of people will put on a character. Basically, what you see is what you get, except I have a big hat. Obviously, I don't tell people about my day job because of privacy. So sometimes I'll use euphemistic terms like mage duties and talk about the mage tower instead of like describing the house that I live in. So things that help obscure for the purpose of privacy. Sometimes I'll try to swear a little less because YouTube has cracked down significantly on swearing. So I put my VODs on YouTube and I want them to eventually be able to be monetized. They're not at the moment, but I don't want them to be age restricted or anything. But other than that, it's pretty much just me. Like, it's just me doing my best to bring my best self here and to be patient with people and understand that, you know, I have a lot of people in my community for whom English is not their first language, and I have people on mobile who are typing and making typos, and so I just try to be myself, but a version of myself that is open and patient and hopefully comes across as kind, because that's what I want to do is spread kindness. So it is me. It's just I'm doing my best to put the kind of energy out that I want to receive back, and oh boy, do I ever receive it back. It's incredible to me. I never expected people to be so kind and so generous, but they keep surprising me, so.
I understand, yeah. I know a lot of people also, when they stream, they say it's them, but without restraint, basically. It's them, but at 200%.
Well, I do have another persona. I do have Mimika.
Yeah, but...
And Mimika is kind of a bit of a more of a silly version, but it's still me. It's just I'm playing it up a little more, yeah.
yeah. And hello to you, Goblin Roselia. Yes, we are the glorious Hat Folks. And hello there, Backwater. Welcome here. But by the way, you are like very calm also when you stream and stuff, even though you like face Elden Ring, which can be kind of rage-inducing and stuff with all the tryout and failures. Are you also this calm in real life, or are you just trying to stay calm on stream?
Dying in games is hilarious. I used to get really frustrated with games when I was younger. My PS controller, my original PlayStation, not even PS1, original PlayStation, I'm ancient. It did have some bite marks in the controller because I would get frustrated and I would bite it. But I like to think that I've calmed as I matured. And I like to think that generally I'm a pretty calm person, and if I get frustrated that I can manage my anger. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like, everyone has emotions, and for me, anger is one of the things that a lot of my life, it wasn't safe to express anger or even feel anger or indicate in any way that I registered anger. So I needed to hide it or suppress it. It's been a bit of a practice for me to get in touch with my anger in a way that's healthy, because I used to feel angry and then I'd immediately feel like despair because I just couldn't allow myself to be angry. So now when I do feel anger, I know it's energy for me. It's an indication for me that something isn't right. I need to change something. I need to make a decision. And so I take that energy and I put it into action. I don't expend it by, exploding, because that is my energy. That's my anger. That's to help me. It's not for me to spend on other people and cause like a wave of distress, because that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in, growing and changing and making my situation better, not, hurting anyone around me.
So, from what I understand from this is, be careful, guys. If you anger MageVivika, if you manage that, she's gonna bite at you like a chihuahua.
No, I would just ban you if I needed to. Create some new rules, yeah.
Imagine you're the chihuahua with MageVivika's hat.
Uh,
Ah. But yeah, you spoke a lot about your weekly bugs and stuff, but actually, why did you want to make this kind of content, and what inspired you for those weekly bugs? And is this any related to your in real life job or to some hobby of yours?
So, it's not a secret. I do discuss it. I have been diagnosed with chronic PTSD from very, very early childhood. So I've been in some form of recovery for a long time, long before I got my diagnosis. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what was wrong, but I was working on it. So I would say it's kind of a culmination of, I've always been a pretty deep thinker. I've always had very broad curiosity, and that was always encouraged by my dad. And I feel like I've always just been interested in thinking about things, thinking about philosophy and about life. And I'm not very good at small talk because I tend to just want to dig into people and life and find out what's underneath that polite facade. So to kind of have a community where I encourage that, I think really suits my personality.
Mhm.
If I had to sort of have the type of community where it's like good vibes only, don't mention anything bad, I think I would be miserable.
I understand. Well. Now I do want to talk a bit about your model and avatar as a VTuber. So, first of all, I noticed you do have some minor Egyptian theming around your avatar,
Yeah.
which is not quite usual, I would say, for witchy stuff, since usually witchy stuff tries to dig in more into Celtic folklore, stuff from Ireland and UK.
Yeah, more
and stuff like that.
Wiccan. Yeah.
They usually try to dig in with that kind of side of the witchiness. So why go for the Egyptian stuff, actually?
Ever since I can remember, I've been really drawn to Kemetic, which is ancient Egyptian religion. So the pantheon of gods, Ra, Osiris,
Yeah, what we usually think
Bastet or Iris,
of Egyptian
Isis,
mythology when we
Mm-hmm.
say the word.
Yeah. So I've always been drawn to that. I've always felt a connection to it. And I remember when I discovered Neil Gaiman's The Sandman DC comic series,
What is it
and I
about?
discovered the character. That series is about the personifications of certain aspects. So, like, Dream is the main character, so the personification of dreams, and death, and desire, and destiny, and they're called the Endless. And so, Death of the Endless, she's the personification of death, and she's not death in the way that you think of, like, a tall skeleton with a black robe and a scythe. She is extremely kind and extremely generous and extremely empathetic. And she's there when you're born and she's there when you die. And her character does teach Dream about how to re-engage in his job after he's been imprisoned for a very long time. And I just felt so drawn to her, and I draw a big inspiration from her. And one of her symbols is the Ankh, the key of life, which is an Egyptian symbol. She has a big Ankh around her neck, a necklace. And I've always been drawn to the Ankh. I've had an Ankh necklace that I've worn for a very, very long time. Back in my early 20s, I decided to focus more on healing and things like that. And one of the practices that I adopted was I'm not religious, but the figure of Isis, the Egyptian goddess of, I think it's like mysticism and fertility and a few other things. She's just always I've really felt drawn to her, and I have her as kind of I don't worship her, but it's sort of like if I could aspire to be like her without, while accepting that I'm only human, if I could aspire to have her generosity, her intelligence, and all of that, then I'm going to be doing a pretty good job of being human, I think. So, sort of a situation of like shoot for the moon and at least end up in the stars. So that's part of it, is my deep connection to that mythology and my kind of ideas about what kind of person I want to be. And also I do have a pentacle, which is a Wiccan symbol of protection, which I have on my hat.
It's
So
true.
there's kind of a mixture of elements, there's sort of the classical aesthetic of the big hat witch and the cloak and the robes, and the belt around my waist is actually made of papyrus as well, which is famously, what the Egyptian people used to write on. It's like one of the earliest recorded uses of paper. So yeah, there's a lot of little details in my design that are
That's
important
pretty
to me, that
cool.
are close to my heart.
It's true for the pentagram. We usually think of the pentagram as a satanic thing, but technically
Yeah, it's been perverted, yeah, but
been
yeah, it is a
perverted.
symbol of protection. Same with the
Yeah.
evil eye, actually. Evil eye is a symbol of protection.
Yeah, and even like in the Christian, so to speak, folklore about that, actually doing a pentagram with a star pointing up is supposed to be the representation of God, while the pointing down is what's supposed to be satanic. But people just
yeah.
see star and be like, "Oh my God, this is evil."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting about the character of death. It's true that in modern Western culture, we do portray death kind of like somewhat evil, like Satanist a bit.
People are really scared of death. I'm not, but people are
that's
really scared of
understandable.
death. Yeah. And I think part of it
wasn't always quite as stigmatized like that.
Yeah.
Like as satanic in the past. Like if you
What
take
I
Hades or Pluto, basically, from ancient Roman and ancient Greek mythologies, is pretty much the coolest god of the only one who's not like completely fucking every single woman around in the mythology.
Hades is kind of a gentleman compared to like Zeus.
Oh yeah. Like 90% of Greek mythology wouldn't happen if Zeus kept it in his pants, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't want to cross Zeus. You don't want to be attractive near Zeus. Pretty much.
Hello there, Super Tamaru. Welcome here. Thank you for the raid, and hello there, Lady of Reavers, and hello there, Gary. Welcome to the stream. Let me give you a shout out. Yes,
As a horn doglet, yes.
doglet.
Absolutely.
Y'all, if you don't know Super Tamaru, she's a super fun and super cute VTuber out there, so y'all gonna give her a little follow here. And also, welcome readers, I am Naruto, Spando Culture VTuber, and I am today with the one and only MageVivika. We are having a little talk show today, where we discover a little bit more about Vivika.
Yeah, on the topic of death and people being afraid of it, I tend to think it has something to do with the fetishization of youth, because we're so obsessed with making sure that we stay young, we look young, we feel young, but that's not how life works. You don't stay a toddler your entire life,
Yeah.
So I feel like that people notice the signs of aging, and it makes them, it reminds them of their mortality, and they don't like thinking about dying, so it makes them fearful. So it just kind of, it's like a cycle that feeds itself, and I'm kind of grateful that I don't experience that, but it does make me not sure how to respond to people when they express these things because I can't relate.
Oh, I am not gonna lie, on my end, I am scared of death. But it's not about like getting old that scares me. It's just the fact of not existing that is scaring me. But it's a topic.
I mean,
for
that's
another day.
understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can give my thoughts on it, but if you want to move on, we can.
Oh,
It's kind of a dark topic.
Give your thoughts a bit, but yeah, I am just scared of just not existing anymore. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind immortality.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't want immortality. For me, I think about the fact that I didn't exist for billions of years before I was born, and I'll probably be fine not existing for billions of years after I die. So
I mean, yeah, our life is not very significant. I do agree with that. But that still doesn't mean I wouldn't stop
significant to us.
existing. You know,
yeah, no, they're significant to us. I think that
significant to us, but I mean insignificant in the grand. Like technically,
yeah.
we're just.
I mean, I'm not
we're just a bunch of
super
atoms.
concerned about what's significant in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
It's just more like from my perspective of like it was okay when I didn't exist because I couldn't experience anything, so I couldn't be distressed about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The most that I worry about when I think about death is making sure that the people that I love are cared for and are safe and are well and healthy and they can live the kinds of lives that they want to live until, you know, they eventually die too. But as far as my concern, I just don't have that
I kind of
urge.
have more like a more like self-centered vision of what I do, what about the death after. Basically, I know I'm just not gonna be existing, so I guess I couldn't care technically what's gonna happen once I die, since I won't exist anymore anyway. So
True, yeah. I mean, I do think about that too. Like when people are like, "What would you want to be done at your funeral?" I'm like, I literally don't want a funeral. Don't waste money on me.
yeah, I mean,
But you know,
they
I know
can-
they're gonna do whatever they do because they need to.
I mean,
it's not for the dead. It's for the living.
Yeah,
they can have
funeral
closure.
is more for the living than for the dead. The dead people couldn't care less because, well, they cannot
Yeah.
care anyway.
I mean, I don't believe in the existence of the soul, so I don't believe I'm going to be watching over my funeral, tutting my tongue
Yeah,
at
I
what they're doing. See, I told you I can't do small talk. We're talking about
Oh.
existential topics now. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. What is going on, Lovely? Really tie me to a horse and Richard a lesson of El Cid? What intonation you're talking about here, Rosalia? Are you being unsay-so? And yeah. But by the way, why are you becoming a witch VTuber? Like, why are you going for witchy?
Time. My sort of username and persona online was a white mage from like the Final Fantasy franchise, so the healer class. And honestly, it's a little bit generic to be a white mage. I feel like there's so many white mages. It's just a class, you know. It's not a particularly unique thing. And when I was thinking about how I wanted to portray myself, it's not just healing, right? It's not just physical healing, because when a white mage does, you know, they do heal status effects as well, but it's mostly focused on, you know, getting your HP up, fixing your physical wounds. And life is more complicated than just your physical health, it's your physical wounds. So I wanted to have an aspect that showed that I recognize the broad nature of life and how there are dark topics and there are light topics and there are in-between shades of grey. So just encompassing everything, how much broader can you go than life? I have been asked quite a lot if I'm a necromancer. I'm not sure why, but maybe they think because I manipulate life. Maybe they think like
I guess you know.
like an airbender or a firebender. I'm a life bender.
I guess it's maybe also
yeah.
like the dark colors. Usually people associate like healing and good stuff. At least in Western culture, I mean, not in other cultures. In
Yeah.
Western culture, I usually associate those good things with like white or light colors, like purity and stuff. You know, I think it's
Yeah.
very.
I have been told, people say, you know, I thought you were an evil witch until I got to know you.
Yeah, because
But,
usually dark colors in Western culture are associated more with like death or evil stuff. You know.
Yeah, and I think I like that I challenge that, because darkness to me is going to sleep curled up in your blankets. It's, you know, soothing and restful. It's not cold and black death. It's just peace. And I've always been drawn to like dark aesthetics. I do have an alternate outfit, which is a white mage outfit from FF Tactics. So I do have that aspect too. But yeah, in terms of my design, I'm really drawn to, you know, black and purple, and have dark hair naturally. I have brown hair, which it does have a little bit of a red tint to it in the light. But yeah, I'm just, other than my blue eyes and my pale skin, I'm pretty aesthetically, like the way I dress and the way I am is kind of dark, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be like death. Like, she's very cheerful. Death of the Endless and Sandman comics. She's very cheerful and welcoming and kind and compassionate, but she also wears black and ushers people to the afterlife. You know.
Yeah. And well, Area Rivers and Oak Sentinel, thank you for hanging out here, and you two have some lovely night out there. See you later. But yeah, it's true that I guess it's just challenge, but I guess as soon as they hear your voice, I'm pretty sure most of them are like, ah man, okay, she's not the evil, she ain't no evil.
As soon as they hear hello and welcome, kia ora, no mai haere mai.
But yeah, I think that is also like a very Western color theme, because I know like in Japan, white is the color of death.
Yeah. Yeah, white can be associated with death in a lot of cultures too, yeah.
So it really depends on where you look. But yeah. By the way, you and you go full witchy stuff on stream, but in real life, do you incorporate some witchy stuff like in real life?
I mean, I guess so. Like, I mentioned that I have a very close connection with the Egyptian goddess Isis. I do have a little Isis statuette that I keep by my bedside,
Really?
and I have a papyrus that depicts her, and I have some tattoos that are Egyptian inspired. I won't describe them too much just to keep my privacy, but yeah, there are
Okay.
some elements of that as well. So, and I wear an ankh necklace every day. I basically never take it off. So yeah, and I do have some. I have read some of the Book of the Dead. I have a translation of it, which is the Egyptian, a religious text from, you know, the Egyptian pantheon. I want to read more of it actually, but mostly I've read the stories about Isis, and I have created my own little prayer, little wish to her that I sometimes recite when I feel like I just need a bit of, you know, guidance, a bit of support. But yeah, in terms of like rituals and things, I feel like the important rituals we do are just, you know, the daily things that we do, you know, making food for people we care about, making food for ourselves, cleaning, taking care of the things that we love, caring for plants and life and nurturing things. So like, I don't necessarily do anything performatively, but I do feel like a sort of a hearth witch kind of aspect to the way I approach life in a way. Yeah.
Okay. So you all heard about it. MageVivika is an Isis simp.
Yeah. You could say that.
Ah. But remember, MageVivika, in the Roman Empire, ISIS is just... Oh, wait, what is already ISIS in Roman Empire? Because they got Romanized
They-
eventually.
They say that Isis and Horus were inspiration for Mary and Jesus, the mother and child. I don't know how it translates into
'Cause
Roman
usually the
or
Roman-
Greek gods, but
I don't think it did eventually got Hellenized and then Romanized because after the Ptolemaic got controlled over Egypt, they kind of fused or actually applied Greek names.
well, the good thing about pantheons is basically it wasn't a jealous god. It wasn't a monotheistic kind of thing. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to bring your religion in, they're like, yeah, another god, sweet, more the merrier, go for it, you know?
Yeah, that's usually what the Romans were doing. Like when they were
Hmm.
invading, they didn't consider other gods to not exist. They were
Right. They're like,
Then-
yeah, you can worship your gods, but also give something to Zeus as well. Like,
also a lot of time Romans also noticed a lot of gods from different places kind of sounded similar. Like, oh, you have
Yeah.
like a sun god, we have a sun god too. Maybe they're just the same god, we just give different names.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's-
that flexibility I think is really valuable.
Yeah, that's what the Romans were doing. So remember, you are now part of the Roman Empire as an Egyptian.
That's fine. I don't mind.
Yes, one more member into the legions. Okay, no problem, Pierogeri. Have some nice sleep. Yes, Tamaru, you worship the porters. It's good, it's good. Oh, and because I know this is quite popular in a lot of women or men into witchy stuff, do you believe in some zodiac stuff actually?
Like astrology.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's the only zodiac thing I know actually.
Yeah. I don't believe that it's accurate. I think it's fun. Like sometimes I'll read my horoscope and be like, oh yeah, I can see how this could be applied. But I realize that it's written cleverly to be very broad. So
Yeah,
people
we
can see
understand.
whatever they need to see in it because humans are amazing. Our minds are amazing. We can see patterns where there's no pattern at all. So we always want to strive for order. We want to see, you know, a picture in the tea leaves. We want to see a face in the ink blot or whatever it is.
Mhm.
So that's kind of fun in terms of like playing with the idea of how my brain works. But in terms of like, would I date a Capricorn or whatever? No, it's not gonna change my life decisions in a significant way.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of fun.
I agree with you. Like I don't like. I mean, I don't believe at all in all those zodiac stuff, but it can be fun just to see. Like if you have like a newspaper or something and you just having the horoscope, it's always fun to read it and like have a giggle about it.
Yeah, it's just like nice little thing to pass the time.
Yeah. However, I do know Cersei. Well, Cersei does not believe in zodiac, but she did look whether I and her were compatible when we started dating.
Did she need your time of birth? I don't even know my time of birth, but there's like a whole chart thing you can do apparently with like time
Well,
of birth and
There's
like the
even,
alignment of the planets.
Time of birth that is important. I did not even know. I don't know the time of my birth. I know I was born in the night, but that's about it.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting how specific they can get.
Yeah. By the way, where does the name Vivika comes from?
So Vivika is a old Germanic name. It means life. I'm a life mage, so yeah, that's the history behind the name, my life mage name.
Oh, interesting. Germanic, you say?
Yeah.
Why going for something
Oh,
Germanic and not more Egyptian, since you are quite fond on Egyptian mythology?
My ethnic background is very European, so my known ethnic history is English, French, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish. So I'm incredibly white. I don't know of any German, but it's still in that kind of region, that European area. I was raised in New Zealand. I think on both sides of my family, it was been about 10 generations of living in New Zealand. So they're not new there, but we are not native. We're not Māori. But I grew up around Māori language and Māori culture, so it has shaped my personal culture, just not my ethnicity. So it was important to me that I portray myself as being European. But of course, I have other inspirations. I have the Egyptian influence. I speak Māori sometimes a little bit on my streams, mostly just my greeting. But yeah, I wanted to show that, I recognize my ethnic background, but I also show appreciation for other cultures as well. So I wanted a name that I felt drawn to and connected to, but it didn't feel too foreign to be worn by someone that looked like me.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Egyptians wouldn't mind at all if you had chosen an Egyptian name anyway.
They probably wouldn't know. I met
They would actually be very happy, actually, I think.
Yeah. I actually met someone in the last town we used to live in. This man owns a pizzeria, like a pizza place, and he's a Egyptian, and he's a Coptic Christian.
Oh,
and he saw my unk, and he was like, oh, like excited to talk to me about it. And it was really lovely. Yeah, people are really sweet about including their culture, because they're not they're pleasantly surprised, because they come from a majority place where their culture is just the norm, and then when they come to somewhere like America where it's not the norm, and then they see someone appreciating it, they're like, oh wow, that's mine, that's cool, we have a connection. So
yeah.
Like, I understand for people that they're a minority in the place, and they grew up there and they were discriminated against, that it can be more sensitive, and I want to be careful and considerate of that. But yeah, in terms of like Egyptian stuff and New Zealanders and things like that, it seems to be pretty comfortable for people. So that's good.
Yeah. By the way, since you're from New Zealand, give us your best Kiwi accent now.
Oh gosh, the stereotype of Kiwis is like fish and chops, and like there's this drink driving campaign ad where there's this guy imagining his friend driving drunk and then crashing, and then his friend is haunting him, and he's like offering him like hot chips, and he's like, I can't take your ghost chips. So it's like stereotypes about like kind of people like Pacific Islanders and Māori accent, and then there's like farmers, like very rural people. So I don't know, I feel like even when I lived in New Zealand, people questioned my accent, so I don't know if I do a very good New Zealand accent. Because I literally, before I ever left New Zealand, I'd been asked if I was American, Canadian, English, Scottish, Irish, Australian, I think South African. And one time when I was working in a call center, as someone was hanging up on me, they said bloody Asians. So I think they thought I was Asian. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
So I don't know if I could do a good Kiwi, because apparently Kiwis can't tell I'm a Kiwi, so it is what it is.
Okay, because to me, like, you sound, your accent really sound very American, like, the classic Atlantic coastline American.
Thing. Americans can definitely tell I'm not from America, but it's not to the point where they're like, as soon as they meet me, they're like, after a while, they're like, I pick up a bit of an accent, where are you from? But I think I've just always kind of had quite a mellow accent compared to other Kiwis.
You don't have like an American accent from a typical place. You don't have a New York accent, you don't have like a Southern accent or something like that. Kind of feel like more of a generalized, like kind of blended accent.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it could be, they couldn't confirm when I got assessed whether I'm on the autism spectrum or not. because of the PTSD. There's too much overlap. But there is kind of a thing with people who are on the autism spectrum where they have kind of an autism accent, which is just kind of a genericized accent, no matter where they're from. It's just kind of mellowed, kind of homogenized. So that could be an aspect to it. I'm not sure if I'm on the spectrum or not. I'm definitely neurodivergent because of the PTSD, but that could be part of it. That's why, growing up, people couldn't tell. But who knows? We can't really confirm.
Yeah, I suppose. I understand. I wanted to have the Kiwi experience. But not gonna lie, because I can recognize many accents from the USA. I can recognize some accent from UK, of course, and the Australian accent is pretty identifiable. I couldn't say I have ever heard a Kiwi accent, actually. I don't think I've ever heard any
I can
New
probably
Zealanders.
send you clips of the thing too about New Zealand is the influence of, Māori language and stuff. So, you're not necessarily going to have someone who just sounds like a Kiwi, like a white Kiwi or whatever. Like, it's like Māori is spoken in not like fluently by everyone, but it's not uncommon to know some Māori words, some Māori phrases. Place names are often in Māori as well. And yeah, there are people that will say like Taranaki instead of Taranaki, but it is just kind of like a blended kind of accent in a way. Like even the Australian accent, like there's certain slang that comes from Aborigine language. So even though we think of Australians as being very white, they are influenced by the native people. So
I guess so, yeah. Australian accent is very, very identifiable, though.
it can be, but then again, if you listen to people from, say, Melbourne, Australia, they actually sound pretty similar to Kiwis. So it just kind of depends where you go. Australia is a pretty big landmass as well.
It's kind of small continent size, to be honest. So I think in terms of landmass, it's actually, I think people underestimate how big Australia is. Yeah, because it's the further you go to the equator, the smaller it looks on the plastic map.
Many people don't realize that Australia is really large. In fact, it's about the same size as the continental USA.
Yeah, that would make sense, to be honest. I know that Perth in the southwest of Australia is usually seen as one of the most isolated city out there.
Interesting.
And
I've only been to Sydney Airport. I just passed through.
But between Sydney and Canberra and stuff, it's doable. While the closest big city from Perth would be Adelaide. And let me pull up a Google map here. Oh. That is still 2,700 kilometers of driving.
Yeah, that's a long way. I'm from a little collection of tiny islands, so that's big to me.
Mm-hmm.
Doc said that ask any Kiwi person to say egghead here. Can you hear it plain as day? Do you hear it? Egghead here?
Yeah, there's you pronounce egghead a bit weird to me.
There's a joke that I can't say egg, I just say egg.
Okay.
Also, my R's are not very pronounced, so that's why I have a redeem on my channel where it's me saying garlic and extremely putting a stress on the R, because normally I just say garlic. You can't really hear the R at all, and Americans are like, what? A what now?
I think that is also very American, because I know in UK they don't pronounce the R either. Usually
I'm actually in New England, and that is a New England thing to be like, park the car in the Harvard Yard, but they still can't understand me when I drop the R, so I don't know.
I know in USA the keeping the R's is in majority, while in UK now R's have kind of fallen already. And well,
Bostonians still can't understand me.
I guess the R in English is not very that pronounced anyway, you know?
Not rolling. Yeah.
So I can definitely see why one could replace it by simply a longer vowel or something.
The way that
You
I
can
say
also
heck.
hear it when Viviki says heck.
What's about the way I say heck? Heck.
I say, instead of saying heck, you say hick. You like
Oh,
you
heck. Yeah.
you pronounce it a bit more closed. I see. That's kind of cute. But yeah. To be honest, I wished my French accent was not as pronounced as it is when I speak.
Oh, accents are sexy.
That's the thing though, in France, we hate accents. We despise them, even when you learn a language like English. The more of a French accent you have, the less of a good grade you're gonna have.
I mean, that's true in all language learning.
Yeah.
They're always going to grade you down for not getting the accent right, yeah.
And people in general, like even whether it is for French and stuff, they dislike a lot accents. To the point they will even make fun of
relate.
regional accents.
I mean, I can understand, like, and it is classist too when people make fun of certain accents, like people make fun of the Southern US accent and things like that. It's because they're looking down on those people as, you know, uneducated, poor, ignorant, and unintelligent, which is not true at all. There are amazing people who have that accent, intelligent people who have that accent, and, you know, people that are really caring and lovely people. It's just, you know, we're all humans and we just sound like the people around us. So
Yeah.
I can understand, like, feeling maybe ridiculed for your accent, which it sucks. I wish people didn't do that. But to me, I always love hearing people's accents. I love seeing the influence of, like, I have studied some French, so I love seeing how French people will use different verbs than we would naturally use in English. I can still understand them, but, like, they might say, instead of to do, they might say to make something, like...
Yeah, because in French, like to do and to make is
Yeah.
the same verb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I love language learning. I love the differences. So
Also,
I think it's really sad when people don't like their accent, because I'm like, no, I love it, please.
Yeah, I mean, I am fully influenced by my own culture here, so yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I wish I didn't have any accent, to be honest.
I feel like Kiwis, they're so used to having visitors that if someone has an accent, they're like, oh, where are you from? That's interesting. And they want to learn about them, and they're, like, you know, engaged and curious.
Yeah, I know Americans also love accents, but I think here, if you come to France and have a very deep accent, people might even correct you on your accent a bit. Or
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
like, at least when you speak in French, yeah. They admit they are not very good at speaking other languages, but yeah, I guess it's just very much stigmatized here, much more than it is in USA.
They're hard on themselves and hard on other people. That's rough.
Exactly, yeah.
I hope they can learn to be kinder.
Yeah, I know there's even regional accents can be ridiculed here.
But I don't think your French accent is that thick. I've heard much thicker French accents.
Yeah, me too. And I will say, as a French person, when I hear a French person having a very thick accent in English, I kind of cringe. Cringe inside is so very hard.
Oh
It's
no.
like, I cannot stand it.
I'm not cringing. I'm not cringing. Might be crossing my legs, but I'm not cringing.
What is it, Dr. Fexis? What is it? Oh, hello there, JNX. Welcome to the stream. Oh, but one funny thing though, you will hear French people is either they will, when they are not very good in English at all, I will try to use words that are similar to French. Like there are some some words that can be quite similar, to French because sometimes they even come from French directly from the medieval French.
Yeah. Yeah, we steal your French words and we change the meaning.
Yeah, I mean, we did the same. We had a funny talk actually with Cersei about changing meanings because we do take some of your words and change the meaning. Like, smoking means a tuxedo in French.
French.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But yeah. But when they get better at the language, they will actually try their best to avoid as much as possible the words that are similar to French, and they will rather use a more Germanic, I guess, origin of the word, like something that is less
Yeah,
close to
I can
French.
understand that.
Yeah, I think also it's because in schools we are encouraged to use words that are as distant as possible to French when we learn English.
Huh, okay.
I guess in a way of not having it all with people, just,
I mean, I feel like also it would be hard to resist pronouncing those words in a very French way. So it
quite the
makes sense if
opposite.
you're trying.
We actually in France we hate it so very much when English people try to pronounce French word as if they're trying to talk in French, and we're like, just pronounce it as if it was an English word. Like,
I
hate
want a
it.
croissant.
Yeah, I hate it when people say croissant. I would just say croissant. If it was me, or I would even say translate it, say a crescent. If it
Crescent
were
rolls.
just me, I would do that.
Yeah, Americans sometimes use crescent rolls.
Yeah, but I mean, I prefer that term. Yeah. Also, same like I heard like massage. Why massage? Just say massage. That works.
Well, there's message.
Yeah, but
So, like
it's
I'm sending you a message,
message, I guess.
and there's massage, which is I'm rubbing your shoulders,
Yeah.
So you wanna make them distinct enough from one another, so you're not saying like I'm giving you a message, because if you mean
I guess you
message
can
but
say
you
I'm
say
giving you a
massage,
massage.
it's a very different.
I guess you could say I give you a
Different
message or
meaning.
something like that. I would eat a
Yeah.
croissant. Hello there, Marzano Pizza. Welcome here.
Like there's words that I'll say that some people might think it's a little bit Frenchy the way I say it, like garage. But I'm not saying garage.
Yeah, I think. Well, isn't it how all English people say, like garage? Like English speakers?
Some will say garage, some will say garage.
To be honest, when I saw the word for the first time, I would entirely go for garage. But
It doesn't really make that much sense, but some people just pronounce things that way.
yeah, I suppose. Though there is some
Yeah.
word you can actually tell it's a French person while it's not a native English. There's some trap words to see, even with their best accent, whether it is French or not. Like if you go for Achilles and memory and stuff like that, no non-native speakers of English is gonna pronounce them like that. Like if you
Yeah, I had a French teacher that would always say idea, like ID, because that's how the French say it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Italy and anemone is really trap words because first time I saw them, I pronounced them a child, and anemone, because that's how it's written.
Yeah, that's fair. English doesn't make sense. It's not easy to just like sound out words, because some words come from,
Yeah.
Greek or Roman or Latin, or it comes from everywhere. So
Yeah, English doesn't really fit in a specific rule for pronunciation.
and it
It's
gets
just a
even worse when you
feeling.
go into food. It gets even worse. Like I've heard people say tortilla instead of tortilla.
Which
'cause
I can
that's how it's
understand.
spelled.
It's how it's
Yeah.
technically written in English.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really have, silent L's in English. So,
I mean, it's not really silent in Spanish.
yeah, I mean, it's not, not pronounced L, not tortilla.
No, it's just double L is pronounced different than.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Should speak Swedish. I think Swedish is kind of hard, isn't it?
I guess the only experience I have with Swedish is mostly from IKEA.
I've heard it's a pretty challenging language. You disagree? You don't think it's
Yeah.
hard?
Oh, by the way, I know exactly what can trigger a Swedish person. Hey, Super Tamaru. I don't know, I heard you're Swedish and it sounds like you're speaking Danish to me.
Oh. Salmon. Yeah.
Are you
salmon.
sure you're not Danish? I will have a Super Tamaru come to back.
Not Danish confirmed. Not a sweet little pastry.
Yeah. It's always funny all the battles they have between Sweden and Denmark.
Neighbors, right?
Neighbors, and they've been at war for quite a long time.
Neighbors.
Like,
Neighbors usually have a long history of being combative.
yeah, and the two countries fought together to try and control the whole Scandinavia and Northern Sea, so makes sense.
Complicated.
But the only thing I know about the Danish language though is that people say Danish is like speaking Swedish, but you put a potato in your mouth.
Okay. Interesting.
But anyway, let's move on a bit from the languages. So, as a content creator, what you consider currently your biggest achievement?
I think just consistency. There's a lot of people that I've seen that will start streaming and they won't get the results that they want within a year, within 2 years, and they'll give up. For me, the motivation is not the way that, you know, the number of people that receive my work. It's how deeply the people who receive it do receive it and how fulfilling I find it. So I have moments where I get caught up on the numbers, yeah, as I think we all do. But I just have to remind myself that the reason I'm doing it is not for fame and fortune. It's because I want this to exist. This is something that I want to be in the world, something that I want to create. It's something I want to experience creating with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's worthwhile in and of itself. Even if no one ever watches it, if tomorrow I started streaming and no one showed up and no one ever showed up again, it would still be worth creating the things that I want to exist in the world.
Okay.
So yeah, I think consistency, being able to continue to make things meaningful for myself, that other people can connect with, that's really, really important, really valuable. And I think a lot of people underestimate how valuable it is and underestimate the effort.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any plans for the future as a streamer or content creator in general? Actually, have any?
Yeah. So in terms of my streams, I do want to eventually do the Buffcast, which will be sort of a similar format to this, where I have a guest and we're talking about a certain topic and we have questions and discussion. Talk to chat as well. I want to keep streaming video games because it's a really good hobby of mine that I really enjoy, that before I started streaming I didn't really make time for them, so it motivates me to still, you know, engage in that hobby, which I think is really good for me. I want to keep doing the buff. Maybe eventually I'll look at doing longer format YouTube videos with more deep dives into certain topics, but of course that means, you know, more time and energy, so I'm not sure if that's something I'll be able to expand upon at this point in time with my day job. But
Yeah.
you know, if I ever could support myself from making content, I would definitely be interested in doing so. It's just I live in a high cost area, so it would be challenging. I'm also a writer, and I would love to find a way to share my writing more. I do share some of my writing on my Tumblr, and I would like to write books and short stories and things. So I may look at a way of doing that either through crowdfunding or just trying to write a full-length book and see if I can get it published. But it's kind of a different format, different audience maybe than my current content, so I'd have to see how I can translate it. Maybe I can do audio versions of short stories and things like that, so it's more sort of relevant to my current audience, I guess.
I see. Interesting. And I do vibe with you for the video game here. Like I am the same. If before I started streaming, I gave little time to this hobby, and now I'm a streamer. I do end up doing that a lot more.
It's easy just to like be like, oh, I'll do it sometime and get caught up in other things, you know? So
Yeah.
I think for me as an adult, it's like important to have that time where it's carved out, and it's almost like an obligation. Like I don't feel obligated to stream, but it's like people are excited for me to stream and I'm excited for me to stream. So it kind of helps to build that
And also having things
motivation.
like having things formally organized in a way.
Yeah, and like, you know, I have a habit of doing these things, and it's kind of a routine, which I'm not very good at following routines. So if I have a pattern that I just, on this day I stream, on this day I, you know, do other things. So it just helps me to keep that habit, really.
And still on the topic of being a content creator, like you said, you really love your community, which is a good thing. But how do you feel about having a community in the first place? And do you feel any form of responsibility regarding having one?
Definitely, yeah, I definitely feel responsible. It's tricky though, because I want my community to be a place where people feel like they can make mistakes, but of course, you have a group of people that you want to feel safe. So if someone is, you know, making mistakes or, you know, decisions to a point where they're no longer safe in the community, then, you know, you have to do something about it. But it's always hard for me to act in those situations, because I do want to believe that people are doing their best. I do want to believe people when they say they're trying and they're working. But if it's a situation where you give them the feedback and their response is hostile, then there isn't really anywhere for me to go with that. So like in terms of responsibility, I do feel a bit of a burden in terms of making sure that everyone is feeling happy and safe and having a good time. But again, I don't like vibe police. Like I need people to have broken a rule to be banned, so I can enunciate that and say this is exactly why we are giving you a warning or giving you a ban, because I don't want it to be unwritten rules. I don't want people who are neurodivergent and who don't read social cues to be feeling like they have to walk on eggshells or they've been rejected for some unknown reason. I do want it to be clear, because I feel like communication is really important, and a lot of people underestimate how important it is. And I don't think anyone owes anyone an explanation for banning them. It's just how I particularly run my community, is that I want it to be clear what's expected, and I want it to be clear when expectations have not been met and when rules have been broken. But overall, I think it's been a really rewarding experience for me. One thing that I was looking for when I started to come out of isolation online was somewhere that I could talk about things that were important to me without judgment. So like philosophical ideas, existential topics, mental health, and things like that. And online there can be kind of looking down on people who are not formally educated about philosophy and things like that. So it can feel quite hostile, especially if, you know, there's a lot of spaces, especially around gaming, that are kind of hostile to feminine people. So I know I come across as very feminine, so that was another part of it too, is sort of making a place where all kinds of people, however they present, can feel welcome, and they can ask questions. They can ask dumb questions. They can ask questions that maybe other people have told them they're not allowed to ask. so that we can actually learn from each other and we can have a conversation, because I do want people to be able to genuinely learn and grow from things. And I'm hopeful that the way I approach people, they will feel like they can ask me these questions and they can listen and they can trust that I will give them an honest response.
Okay. Speaking of all of that and your interaction with your community, I know like you've grown quite a bit as a streamer. Like in the years,
Definitely.
you're at 2.5k, which is pretty huge. At least
Yeah.
for my standards.
I'm shocked. That happened like
But
the other night, not last night, Thursday night, Friday night, Thursday night I think it was. Yeah.
yeah, so like you've grown a lot, and so have your community. Have you felt like you've been unable to interact with your community as personally as you could back when it was smaller? Have you sensed a change in general also between when your community was small and when your community is much bigger now?
Agree, of course. Sometimes when my chat is really bumping, I won't be able to read and respond to every message. Sometimes on Discord, there'll be people having conversations with each other and I'll sort of skim it, but I won't be able to in-depth read all the conversation and engage myself. Like, basically I used to on Discord be able to respond to everyone in every channel, but at this point it's grown to the point where, and this is what I want too, is for other people to engage, because what I think of my community as being is I am the focal point for people to gather. So I'm kind of like the lighthouse. They see the light, they go, oh, this is interesting. They come and have a look. And then they see the other people around them that are also looking at the light. And they go, oh, you're interesting. And they start having conversations and they start making friends and they start building, relationships with each other. Because I'm only one person, so I can't be everything that they might want me to be for them. But they can be there for each other and for themselves. So, yeah, to a degree, of course, I won't be able to have as personal relationships as I could if I had, 3 regulars or whatever. But I think in a way that's kind of beautiful, because it does kind of empower other people to go, okay, who else can I connect to in this community? Who else is drawn to this attitude, this vibe, this light? And who might I relate to? Who might I be able to hang out with between streams? All that kind of thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, Rick Crow. Having an open mind is really important.
Yeah, it's always important. So, I will have one last question, but I want to keep it for the end of the stream. So I do want to go for a quick round of speed questions. Like, you have 5 seconds to answer, and you cannot simply answer no. Like, you have to answer one of the choice.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Rice or noodles?
Noodles.
Travel to the mountain or to the beach?
Beach.
Favorite bread?
Sourdough.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's one of them. She must be eliminated.
And jalapenos.
No, how could she be on the evil side?
Also, on burgers, grilled pineapple on burgers. Oh, so good.
I cannot see it because I don't have like an animated VTuber, but I am making quite a face at you right now.
That's okay.
Anyway, by the way, kiwi on pizza, yes or no?
Dessert pizza, yes.
Okay, fine and sick. Walk one station or take the train? Subway.
Sorry, I missed the start of that.
Walk one station or take the subway?
Walk, yeah. I like walking.
Mm-hmm. Spicy food or sweet food?
Sweet.
Can you handle spicy, yes or no?
Yes, but I like spice that is nuanced. So like Indian curry with like cinnamon and cayenne
Yeah,
and like for hot sauce, I like chipotle, like the smoky flavor, not just like straight hot. Just straight hot is just boring to me.
I understand. You were saying on New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Understandable. Dog or cat? I think I know the answer, but
I do love both, but yes, cats. Yes.
I gotta see it call me here. Tea or coffee?
Tea, absolutely.
Favorite tea?
Matcha would be my favorite. I drink it every single day. I also like green tea with jasmine, green tea with cherry. I like oolong tea. I'm not really a fan of like the, Earl Grey with sugar and milk. If I have black tea, it's usually flavored. Like I have a sage plum black tea that I really like. Rooibos tea as well is really good. Herbal tea. Yeah, I'm a tea mage.
I understand. Favorite color?
Purple.
I don't know why, but I saw it coming. And purple is based, so
Thank you.
my man. Give or receive a present?
Give.
Okay.
I find it really hard to receive presents, and it's my birthday next week, so I'm gonna be bracing myself.
Climb a mountain or run a marathon?
Mountain.
Understandable. So, Vivika beach episode when?
I actually do have a bikini not a bikini, a swimsuit outfit on one of my models that's being rigged at the moment, but
You
yeah,
heard
more to
it,
come on
guys.
that.
The beach episode is gonna be real.
It will.
And for the light, quick question: do you like eating kiwis?
The fruit, yes. Yeah.
You
The
heard
bird,
it.
no.
You heard it here, guys. Vivika is a secret cannibal. She's gonna eat her own people.
Only the fruity ones.
People of New Zealand.
Yeah, in New Zealand we call them kiwi fruit, or zespri is the brand name that they've made up. And
Exactly
then
by order, it's kiwibalism.
kiwi can mean bird or it can mean, New Zealander, but usually we know from context. People do say kiwi bird, but usually just say kiwi.
I can see here in France we just say kiwi when we mean the fruit because we don't have the verb.
Yeah, understandable.
Okay, and so for the final question, this one is it's gonna be maybe longer, but as a way to wrap up the stream. So, you have been a streamer for quite a long time now. Is there anything you wish you would have known when you started streaming? And what would be your advice to all aspiring VTubers out there?
I think something I would have told myself when I was starting out was it's nice when people approach you, but you don't have to force yourself to stay connected to people if they make you feel uncomfortable. I think that it's sometimes tempting to ignore my own discomfort with certain people, whether it's streamers or chatters or whomever. So just kind of allow myself that freedom to say it's okay if you just don't feel right about someone, it's okay to not be as accessible. You can close your DMs. It's okay. You're not going to be stuck up for keeping boundaries and privacy. I think that's something I would have told myself starting out, because I did make some missteps with that, and I did put energy into people that I think they weren't really a good match for me as a friend. So I would definitely advise myself to listen to that feeling and to allow myself to listen to it. In terms of advice for other people, I would say know why you stream. If you know that the reason that you're streaming is for fame and fortune, then just be aware that, that may not happen. It's not guaranteed for anyone. If the reason you stream is because you really love a particular genre of video games, you really love a particular way of playing games, speed running or challenge runs or whatever, then like always bring yourself back to that motivation and find other people that have the same passion, the same attitude towards streaming, because there are people that are just kind of social climbers and they will kind of use you and then discard you when you're no longer useful to them. So yeah, just know why you do it and keep refocusing on the why, because that's going to be what keeps you going, what keeps you warm when, you know, there's no chatters in your chat or whatever.
Okay, that is a very good advice, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, knowing why you stream is important. If you want to stream for fame and fortune, you should have started 30 years ago. That ship's already sailed. I guess there's still some people who manage to
be an OG YouTuber.
Yeah, I think there's just some people who manage to get famous, but
yeah, it's a combination of stuff though, right? It's like having a particularly unique aesthetic or avatar, and having the funds to make things look really professional, and the reach, and having the right connections, and a lot of luck. The algorithm
there's a lot of luck,
blessing you and all that stuff.
Also,
So
maybe
you can
understanding how to manipulate a bit the social stuff. Yeah, it's still possible, but I wouldn't tell anyone like to expect it either, really.
Yep. It's gonna be a hard road if that's your motive. Yeah.
Alright. I think we've had a very good run. Well, I think most people here already know MageVivika, but let me give you like a little shout out in the. I see. I misspelled here. Alright, you can give her a little
I gotta shout in.
I can give her a little follow here if you like her here. You will likely like her on her own streams. Yeah. So.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun too. I'm glad. I think it went very well so far. It's definitely something I would do again.
Good about it. Hope that it was motivating for you to want to do more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely motivating me to do more of that. It did happen pretty good.
Nice. I'm glad I could be a good guest for you.
Of course, I will post this stream on YouTube later, and I will also post the little clip compilation I did. I showed earlier. Oh well.
I appreciate it.
I think we're gonna be rating Yui tonight.
Yay!
So yeah. Thank you all for joining the stream tonight. I hope all of you had a lovely time with us. And well, see y'all later soon. Ciao, bye.
Bye-bye.